What's up, y'all? Carter Sports back with another USC update on this coaching search, on this D coordinator search. And y'all finna keep y'all updated, man. Tap in with Carter Sports. Here, look at some of the articles I've been reading. USC football rumors. Jim Leonhard, Tony White, listed as potential Alex Grinch replacements. Now let's see. Although it's far too late in the season to spark any worthwhile change in 2023, USC football finally reached their breaking point with defensive coordinator Alex Grinch. Amen. The fact that they can at least recognize the colossal disappointment this campaign has descended into over the last month is a small step in the right direction. Shit, you ask me, it's a huge step. It will mean nothing, though, if head coach Lincoln Riley does not find the right man for the job. His decision to cut ties with his guy suggests that he is looking at the big picture. His reputation stand to take a considerable hit if the Trojans cannot get back heading into the 2024-25 season. This DC position could greatly define the program's immediate future in Riley's USC legacy. I agree. Fortunately, there are some credible candidates who are expected to be in the running for the job. Jim Leonhard, current senior analyst with Illinois and former interim head coach for Wisconsin, is likely the biggest name the Trojans could hire, per Bruce Feldman of The Athletic. He revamped the Badgers' defense and could be a perfect fit, especially since USC officially joining the Big Ten Conference in 2024. These last two seasons are overwhelming evidence that the team needs a drastically different style, which Leonhard can provide. Then you have Nebraska DC. Tony White could also be on Lincoln Riley's radar. He worked wonders at Syracuse under the same position and has West Coast ties dating back to his days with Arizona State. And as a graduate assistant for UCLA, I might cross him off right there. It used to be for the Bruins. I'm just playing, y'all. White knowledge of both Pac-12 and Big Ten styles should land him reasonable consideration for the vacancy. So I agree, Tony White dudes seem solid with the talent what he got to work with. He do pretty good with Nebraska. Another candidate who high up there on the rankings, even higher than Tony White, is Dave Aranda. He the head coach at Baylor. Before taking his first head coaching job at Baylor, Aranda won a national championship as defensive coordinator with the LSU Tigers in 2019. Now, we know that was a historic offense. It was. But he won the title. It was considered one of the top and highest paid coordinators in college football, aside from LSU. He has served at DC, at Wisconsin, Utah, and Hawaii, Southern Utah, Delta State, and Cal Lutheran. His LSU defense ranks 10th, 12th, 25th, 35th, and yards allowed, while his Wisconsin defenses rank 7th, 4th, and 2nd. Man, just imagine USC. Man, why would he be a fit at SC? Aranda's tenure as head coach at Baylor is trending in the wrong direction, as he's followed up his 2021 season when he went 12-2 with the 6-7 finish last year, and a 3-6 mark so far this fall. While he has many years left on his contract, more on that momentarily. If Baylor, which has become accustomed to athletic success, chooses to move on from Aranda, then he should be a top candidate for the Trojans. After all, USC was close to hiring him back in 2019 before Baylor came in with the head coaching offer. Aranda grew up in Redlands, California, so a move to the West Coast would make personal sense, and with his history coaching in the Big Ten, he had theoretically transitioned well to the Trojans' future in that conference. Why wouldn't he fit at USC? Well, the Baylor contract. After that successful 2021 season, Aranda signed an extension all the way to 2029. Baylor is a private university, so it doesn't release contract details, making it hard to know what it would have to pay to terminate him early. But if this season continues to go south for the Bears and the school moves on from Aranda, USC should be on the phone with him that same day. I agree. Our verdict: it can't be presumed that Aranda will be available, so consider this a long shot for now. But he's high on our list because of potential fit, so it's enticing. Then you got Trent Bray, defensive coordinator at Oregon State. He didn't have some good defense. I mean, we seen Oregon State last year, how they held us to 17 points. So we know firsthand what Trent Bray could do. If Trent Bray could come up with a great scheme for Alex Grinch, and I take that back. What am I talking about for Alex Grinch? That's a brain freeze. If he could come up with a great game plan and a great scheme for Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams, imagine how elite he is. Because think about, since Lincoln Riley came to USC, there's only been 2 teams able to stop us. That was Oregon State and Notre Dame. And I feel like Notre Dame was able to stop us not necessarily because of a great game plan, because their defensive linemen just destroyed our offensive line. So besides that, to me, he the only defensive coordinator that came out with a scheme that really gave Caleb and Lincoln Riley problems. So when I think about it and just take the name and reputation away, Trent Bray, he would be up there too. He a good coach for sure. Now, I'm going to get into this. Now, we might have to be ready to pivot from Jim Leonhard. We might not be able to get him. In this article I'm going to read y'all, I'm going to explain why that might be a long shot. It's that time again. USC has to find a coach, not a head coach, but a coordinator. It's a hugely important search and a defining moment for Lincoln Riley. Alex Grinch got fired, which is undeniably good, but this matter only if Riley and athletic director Jennifer Cohen find an elite replacement for Grinch. Jim Leonhard is the guy most USC fans want. He is also our preferred number 1 choice as well. However, this is where we have to remind you that a school top choice might not want to coach at that school. The interest and desire to have to be mutual. If not, USC had to pivot to the second choice and then a third choice, and if the next few candidates say no. So USC need to be ready and able to have a rock star quality in its 4th and 5th, 6th choices. I so agree. Cohen and Riley need to have a list in which their various options are all good, and they don't have a weak choice too high on their menu. Here's our guide to the ins and outs of the USC defensive coordinator search. It's a lot more just having a top target. That's the easy part. The hard part is when the top target says no, and adjustment has to be made on the fly. If Jim Leonhard says yes, this is very easy for USC, but we don't expect Leonhard to say yes. We'll explain that a lot more below in his coaching carousel primer. Remember how wild the coaching carousel was in 2021? No one saw it coming when Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for USC and Brian Kelly left Notre Dame for LSU. Shortly thereafter, Mario Cristobal left Oregon for Miami, enabling Dan Lanning to go to Eugene. It's a series of moving parts. We don't know how or when the parts will move. It's a part of the intrigue of a coaching carousel where you're going to give up your roadmap for moving parts. We won't predict what will happen, but we can give you a sense of the national landscape and how it shapes the choices of the candidates USC will search for. We already been talking about Jim Leonhard, so here it goes. The industry scuttlebutt says that Jim Leonhard wants a head coaching job, not a coordinator job. If true, USC will have to work really hard to convince Leonhard to come to Los Angeles and work with Lincoln Riley. USC might need to fire strength coach Benny Riley for one thing if Leonhard is to have any desire to work for USC. Beyond that, we have to consider the coaching jobs what might open up. That's a part of the carousel in the endless drama. What does Syracuse have to do with any of this? You might ask. This is exactly the thing we're trying to emphasize. What happens in one place could affect what a coaching candidate chooses to do or avoid. Dino Babers is on the hot seat at Syracuse. He has been there several years. The Orange could definitely seek a new voice. If Syracuse fired Babers, would Jim Leonhard or another top USC defensive coordinator take the open job there? It's precisely the kind of plot twist USC fans have to consider. It's also the kind of thing Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley have to be ready for. If Leonhard takes the open job, he's off the board, and USC will have to pivot to his plan B. Do we know if Jim Leonhard will take the Syracuse job? No, but it's a plot point to keep in mind. That's what this article is all about, not predictions, but offering you scenarios to consider. Indiana. If Indiana jobs comes open, would Jim Leonhard want it? We don't know, but it's something to consider. There's another aspect to the Indiana job which we will mention next. Tom Allen. If Indiana fires Tom Allen, that could send Jim Leonhard to Bloomington as the Hoosiers' new head coach. It will also mean Tom Allen, who's an excellent defensive coordinator at Indiana before being promoted to head coach, will be on an open market for USC and Lincoln Riley. Allen is our number 2 preferred choice behind Jim Leonhard. USC fans should hope Indiana fires Allen so that he gives USC an attractive new candidate. Mississippi State. Zach Arnett took over for the departed Mike Leach this season at Mississippi State. It hasn't gone well. Arnett might be cut loose. If he is, he will make a very solid choice for USC. Maybe not a number 1 choice, but certainly a massive upgrade over Alex Grinch. Trust us, USC could do a lot worse than Zach Arnett. Then we already talked about Dave Aranda. He got to get fired. The Big 12 championship game and the importance in that. USC got Lincoln Riley for a number of reasons. One being that Oklahoma missed the Big 12 championship game in 2021. Had OU reached the Big 12 championship game that year, USC wouldn't have been able to line up that move the way it did. We mention that because there are some attractive defensive coordinator candidates at Big 12 schools such as Kansas State and Iowa State. If one of those schools make the Big 12 title game, that candidate will be harder for USC to get. This leads us to another key detail in the whole process. The transfer portal window opens December 4th. Conference championship games are played on December 1st and 2nd. USC need a defensive coordinator in place by the end of November, or at least that will certainly help. The Trojans need to have their defensive coordinator on board so that potential transfer portal applicants will know what kind of defensive coach is working with Riley. If USC does not have its DC in position filled by December 4th, that could really hurt the Trojans in the portal. They will need elite players to join the new look defense under a new coordinator, and that's an important part of the transition for the Trojans. Coordinators and opening jobs. This is where carousel can spin very wildly. What if a group of 5 head coach leaves his post to take over a coordinator job? Let's say a group of 5 head coaches replaces Jeff Levy as offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, or replaces Gerard Parker as Notre Dame offensive coordinator. One of the USC defensive coordinator candidates could then take that open group of 5 head coaching job. That's how quickly all of this can change. Tony Gibson at North Carolina State. Tony Gibson is the excellent defensive coordinator at North Carolina State. Might want a head coaching job. If USC wants Gibson, the opening of a group 5 head coaching position could pose as an obstacle to that goal of bringing Gibson aboard. Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley need to be willing to spring into action if Gibson or another defensive coordinator at another school is enticed by a group of 5 opening, or as we noted before, above with Jim Leonhard, a Power 5 opening such as Syracuse or Indiana, maybe also Mississippi State. That's how the coaching carousel works. Be ready to follow the bouncing ball in coming weeks. So it's gonna get crazy, y'all. I'm reading a lot for y'all, man. I'm looking this up because, this is important for USC, man. This is important for USC. If we make a home run hire at defensive coordinator, we guarantee to have elite defenses. We guarantee to recruit better. We guarantee to have better success than we have in this year. So it's critical. So if Lincoln Riley can continue his quarterback magic and offensive magic, and we get a yin to his yang, we get somebody who's on the same level of defense, that's on the same level of Lincoln Riley, then we got an elite team, man. We're going to compete for national championships every year. And I'll be back at y'all again with more Trojan reports, man. I'm on all these websites, all these details. I'm going to be bringing it to y'all, let y'all know, keep y'all updated. Until then, y'all, we going to fight on, man. We going to fight on. Who y'all think in the comments, who y'all think we should grab if we can't grab Jim Leonhard? Hit that subscribe, hit that like, y'all, and let me know. It's Carter Sports, and I'm out.